We are back for episode 2 of the Slamburger and French Fries podcast.
We made it, guys.
How we doing, gentlemen?
We're here. We're here. We got renewed for a second episode.
Nobody heard the first, but we're good.
Nobody heard the first yet.
Support our Patreon.
Right.
Patreon.
What did you call it?
Patreon.
It's the drunk verbiage of Patreon.
Patreon? Is this a Pokemon I don't know about?
No, it's religious.
This is Brandon.
Johnny.
Ryan.
Steven.
No, Ryan took the episode off.
Yeah, he was
we just
fired
got
after that last.
We just got Ryan. So we're back. Episode 2. We're going to talk about WrestleMania.
WrestleMania.
Oh man,
Never heard of her.
So this thing went on forever.
Like our last podcast.
Hey! If anything, our podcast was a snippet.
It was.
Of what WrestleMania ended up being. WrestleMania ended up turning into a festival. So much went. All right, let's get started. Okay, we're gonna go into the first match of the night, which was the cruiserweight title match.
No, it was not.
No,
Was it?
The first match was the Andre the Giant Battle Royal Memorial,
offended.
This just happened. So
Yeah.
Bray coming out at the end was a nice surprise. Other than that, I really got nothing to say about this one.
Yeah, it was a cluster.
It really was. One thing that surprised me is no celebrities.
Yeah.
Just for Mania in general, really. They didn't really have any big surprises, no big entrants. Hardy winning it. It is what it is. I like that what they could do with Hardy and Bray, but what has that Andre the Giant Memorial done for anybody's careers?
Exactly. It's just kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I maybe giving it to Hardy, who doesn't necessarily need it, is a good thing. Just because of the stigma of, Claudio won it and didn't really do anything, didn't really push him anywhere. Baron Corbin won it and he was, up there for a hot minute. Big Show won it. It's one of those he doesn't really need it. It's a good feather in his cap for his career. But, they
and then
kind
Mojo Rawley last year, and they did nothing with that.
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. Which is how good it did.
Yeah, and they kind of used it more as a catalyst to push this Woken, Hardy, Bray Wyatt thing. I think it was either me and you, Steve, or me and you, Brandon, talking about how kind of their pose at the end was super cool.
But they couldn't have done it in the middle. Like, that had to be the finish.
Yeah. It kind of had to be an ending thing. It's kind of just what it was. I think it was more of a catalyst to push this story forward more.
Yeah, and because they didn't have anything for anybody else.
Yeah.
Well, and do you think eventually they'll just take the Battle Royal away? Because all it is a filler for the people that have nothing going on.
No, I think they might keep it for as long as they can kind of ride the name of Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
Which is
forever. That'll go forever.
But
there is no true point to it except for to get people on.
And at the same time, in retrospect though, it happened. It was there, but there's still. You wouldn't have seen Goldust, Ty Dillinger. All those guys that if you look at that card, they had nowhere on that card, and at least you got to see them at Mania.
Absolutely.
Even if they're around next year, they had at least one more Mania under their belt. So they got something.
Exactly.
We'll go over our picks.
For that one. For that one, I think I had Ty Dillinger.
I had Elias.
I had Dillinger.
And I had Dillinger.
And none of our picks won.
Elias wasn't even in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dillinger.
I could have swore he was. I could have swore I read he was supposed to. That's why I picked him.
It would have been one of those things like Dillinger. It would have been a good stepping stone for him, but the fact that they really don't use it in the long run, that's the only reason I went that route.
For sure. All right, so moving forward, the match that came after that.
Now it's the cruiserweight.
Now it is?
Yes.
All right, now I'm back on track. It was the match to determine who would come out the cruiserweight champion after Enzo Amore vacated it. We won't go into that mess.
He vacated it. That's all that matters.
Right. It was vacated. And it was it was between Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali, both going into this match as faces, both very hot right now, both in tip-top form. These guys came ready to fight for the belt, and I was excited.
Yeah. For sorry to cut you off, but
Nope.
for those who don't know, Ali had a tryout many years ago, got told no, became a police officer in Chicago while he was kind of still wrestling, got selected as an alternate for the first Cruiserweight Classic, and then got bumped to being part of the Cruiserweight Classic, and then got signed to 205 Live. And, I mean, I've shared locker rooms with him. I've received criticism from him, still being an active wrestler. So kind of seeing all of his hard work pay off and him having a really badass entrance.
Yeah.
He was one of the cooler entrances of the night with the Sub-Zero theme. And, it was kind of... It's kind of those things, kind of brought it back home. He's from Chicago, a couple hours away. It was just really cool to see him finally get that and see all his hard work pay off. And especially him being the heritage that he is. A lot of people don't look at the man he is. They just see his name or look at him and just kind of already make a judgment. And that's totally not... He's totally the opposite of what anybody would think.
For sure.
And I picked Mustafa to win just because with the big push they're going to have in the Indian market, and it'd be good to get the cruiserweight title on him. Both those guys, though, for a pre-show, they went out and they put it all on the line. They had a great match. They didn't make it go too long, but in the time they did have, they performed amazingly for a pre-show match.
Yeah, absolutely. And coming off of what they were doing with Jinder, with the World Heavyweight title, I thought if you're going to take the belt off of Jinder, Mustafa would be the next best thing for the Cruiserweight belt.
I also agree. But so both Alexander and Ali had a great 205 or been great on 205 Live this past month, and it was really nice to see both of them get a reasonable amount of time there.
Yeah.
The only thing that sucks about it, the crowd was kind of dead, but both men put on a solid show. The one thing that I didn't like about it, it was like an insult by WWE that they threw a Ronda Rousey promo in the middle of that match.
Yeah, a little commercial.
They both deserve better than that. I mean, the match was solid, and there was no reason for that to be in the middle of it.
Yeah.
But it was a nice story and ending in a great moment. So it was a nice closing to the tournament. And everything else.
Yeah. I had Cedric. I was the only one here who did.
Yeah.
I just felt that he kind of had his thing going before Enzo vacated the title, and then they had him restart. I really felt that it was just his time. And I also agree with you, Steve. Kind of throwing that commercial break in on the network was kind of a slap in the face. I kind of expected a turn out of one of them, so I'm really gonna want to see what happens going forward since they didn't do it there. But I felt a turn out of one of them would just add a little bit more to their character, or But then again, doing the gentlemanly dual type thing also worked for both of them.
Yeah, for sure.
We know how Vince feels about cruiserweights. Who runs 205? Is it Trips or?
Yeah,
is it Vince?
Trips took it over right before the tournament started.
Okay.
That's why you're kind of seeing it go more to, what it was in the Classic, because Hunter kind of ran that. It's more of, here's the in-ring action that you guys want to see out of them, as opposed to characters like Enzo. That's kind of the reason he went there. He was established, and they didn't really have anything for him. I mean, they have Drew Gulak, who's an amazing character on that show, and they're kind of developing it, but they're focusing more on the action, which is what people want to see.
Absolutely. And like Steven said, great finish to the match. Told a great story of face versus face. It didn't make either of them look bad. I can't say enough good stuff about these two guys.
Oh no, it was solid all around.
Yeah.
That's one of the top 3 matches of the night, truthfully.
Absolutely.
The only thing I don't like, I'm really hoping that they kind of showed that maybe next year the cruiserweight title won't be on the pre-show, because this is the second year in a row.
Yeah.
And second year in a row, that the Cruiserweight title was one of the better matches.
It was a banger, and they left it off the DVD last year.
Yeah. So, last year it was Aries and Neville, and that led to kind of both of them leaving WWE. Hopefully that doesn't happen this time, but hopefully they finally realize that this is something you want on your main show.
Right.
As a part, and move something else to pre-show.
Yeah. All right. And so then after that, we had the no superstar ahead of this women's battle royale. After
For
some
the uterus trophy.
I'm glad you're not the only one who noticed that.
Oh my god. Yeah. No. So after all the headache of getting that wrestler taken off of the naming of the battle royal, they focused on the women for this, and I kind of had a headache seeing that only a couple of the girls got an entrance, and a big bulk of them came out. And it's like, oh, let's highlight these couple,
Yeah.
but lump
But
everybody
she
else.
really had to. I mean,
Yeah.
But
like,
I would have.
they almost didn't have to do their entrances though.
For men's, they didn't do any entrances, did they?
No.
It just showed them in there.
No.
But I kind of wish that for the girls,
First one.
they lumped everybody together and brought them out. And like,
Yeah.
Yeah, like
get
they did the
after it.
men's at least. Yeah.
Everybody comes out to click, click, boom.
Yeah, because but that's the thing. They kind of, I don't know. They treated all the fans as stupid, as to say, remember these are our favorites, but these gaggle of chicks we don't care about. That's the way it felt to me.
They did a good job though at focusing on the NXT females once they started, teaming up and ganging up on the divas or the women.
Yes,
Go ahead, Steve.
I would say that's kind of like, I mean, this match was marginally better than the men's match.
Yes.
And it felt like it had more of a story with the NXT WWE divide, like you're saying, the factions coming into play, not having much momentum for them at the moment,
Right.
and then also even just Sasha and Bayley and their feud, the ending between Sasha and Bayley continuing their feud farther out,
Yeah.
and then the finish. So
See, that was kind of my problem. I don't feel, and this is no knock to Naomi because she busts her ass, but I don't feel she needed it. Bayley, on the other hand, kind of going back to what we were talking about with the fun-loving personality, needed that. She kind of got the one-up on Sasha, eliminated her, boom, here we are, and then, Naomi didn't get eliminated, and then Bayley kind of gets shat on.
Yeah.
And my problem with the Naomi part of that finish, if Ryan, if you have part of it, go ahead and see what you say on it there.
For the finish?
Yeah. With Naomi's finish.
I wish that they would have made mention of it before the fact. And I understand why they didn't, but I don't know. I just, you have the Bayley turn, which it was expected, good finish. And then just out of nowhere, you have Naomi come in and dump her. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
You had a good finish, and then you kind of, scratch the record. And it's like, wait, what?
So,
I didn't like that.
So that was my aspect of, my notes on it. That Naomi running in to win it was just odd booking. The spot, it should have been safe for a heel. Like, so is Naomi going to turn heel? Is that something that we're going to see coming from this? Because a baby face hiding outside the ring to come in and dump her like that is not what it should have been. I would think.
On the flip side of that, I think there was a bunch of action that kind of, air quotes, took Naomi out for a hot second where she didn't go over the top. And then it kind of just made you forget about her until the end. But I agree, that should have been saved for Natalia or a heel character. Bayley, the big baby face. Your girl next door basically is who she's portraying and who she really is. I won. Oh hell, this big bad heel or this evil person kind of one-upped me and took it from me. That's too many years in a row. Naomi kind of got the light, but they don't really do anything with her. I'm fine with her getting the spotlight. She's a great worker. She's one of the more athletic women, but do something with her now. She won this. Do something with it. Make this mean something. Don't treat this like the men's one.
She didn't get the spotlight. She got the glow light. Come on.
There it is. I'm sorry. She got that glow light.
My final comment on this, 3 words, Kyrie Sane elbow.
Yeah.
All day.
Best elbow since Savage.
Man.
Maybe not as good as Velveteen
Velveteen,
Dream
yeah.
before.
Yeah.